Good evening. You're watching the news from the Cyprus Broadcasting Corporation in Nicosia. The insistence of the UN Security Council and other important countries on the implementation of the July the 8th agreement will bring results, was the message hammered home last night by the President of the Republic during his scheduled televised press conference held from the Presidential Palace in Nicosia. Further responding to criticism over the positioning that his meeting last week with Turkish Cypriot leader Mehmet Ali Talat was realized for purely campaign purposes, Cyprus Papadopoulos posed a rhetorical question of whether it's reprimandable for one to try and speed up negotiations towards a settlement of the Cyprus issue. He also emphasized that irrespective of the run-up to February's presidential elections, he faces the mandate, as given to him by the people, to reunify the island. This mandate, he added, concerns his entire term as president, and he is neither about to postpone nor freeze his efforts towards the speeding up of substantive negotiations leading to a solution. In answer to a question on the Annan plan, the President of the Republic said he regretted having ever accepted the clause on arbitration, and also conceded that he may have been mistaken in believing that the UN Secretary General would have stood fast by the three conditions which he, Cyprus Papadopoulos, had set in writing and which Kofi Annan had accepted. As regards the European Court of Human Rights' turning down of the Republic of Cyprus's objection to the participation on the bench of two Turkish Cypriot judges, Cyprus Papadopoulos pointed out that it's not Cyprus which decides the makeup of the court and that the ECHR's decision is fully respected. The President of the Republic also addressed a plea to all to stay far from divisive fanaticism, emphasizing that history has taught us that division brings nothing but harm, and noting that political adversaries are just that and not enemies. As expected, last night's press conference as today led to a spate of reactions from across the board, with political parties and presidential contenders alike all voicing their respective opinions. In his initial reaction, AGAL General Secretary and presidential contender Dimitris Christofias described the press conference as campaign-related. He also focused particularly on the President's appeal to all to avoid divisive fanaticism, saying that the stance against both his person and the left-wing party in general of those in league with Cyprus Papadopoulos is at the very least unacceptable, adding that he himself has been the target of mudslinging. The EDC chairman, meanwhile, was scathing in his response, saying that last night's attempt by the Presidential Palace failed miserably, since the people heard nothing new, but instead listened to a repeat of what Cyprus Papadopoulos rejects. Nikos Anastasiadis further sought to point out that the current administration has no vision, while he also flatly rejected all that cited by the President of the Republic concerning his acceptance of the arbitration clause in New York. On an individual note, the C-endorsed presidential contender, Ioannis Gasoulidis' press spokesman, Lougas Fourlas, stated that for yet another time, Cyprus Papadopoulos preferred talking about procedures and not the essence of the Cyprus issue, thereby exposing his total lack of vision and strategy, while never once did he explain why the Republic of Cyprus is constantly losing friends and allies. Ruling Digo confined itself to issuing a written announcement in which it points out that the President of the Republic for yet another time addressed the people with a high sense of responsibility, laying down his positions and concerns honestly and clearly. The announcement also notes that given his full understanding of his national, historical and political responsibilities, Cyprus Papadopoulos is the one who can offer hope for a better future and a just, functional and viable solution, while, as the announcement continues, everything voiced in prejudice by other contenders for the presidency stems from a small-hearted and micro-political view of things. Government partner EDEC also considered the President's presser a success, with Party Secretary Antonis Goudalianos saying that it convincingly and clearly shows that the political handling of what he termed the great national issue was and is correct, realistic and demanding. And having aligned itself with the President, the European Party, through Deputy Chairman Nikos Goutsou, said that Cyprus Papadopoulos reassured the people that a return to the Annan plan is out of the question, and offered his perspective of how he'll be handling the issue over the next 5 years, with the July the 8th agreement providing a new basis for a settlement.